This might be new to some folks because we have a Westminster Confession of Faith. Hasn't it always been that way? Like, wasn't it printed once and now we just have it? But you're working with even 4 different authoritative texts. Can you describe those to us and maybe a little bit of their origins and differences?
When we talk about those texts in which, again, the scribes were given specific oversight of and to ensure accurate printing, we have actually 3 printed texts and 1 manuscript text. The manuscript, quite often we view the manuscript, well, that should be the obvious source of authority. But what we find actually is that the assembly continued making some tweaks in the text, even beyond the manuscript. So that takes us to our first printed edition. Well, the first printed edition was actually only a partial copy of the confession. It reached only through the first 19 chapters. The second printed edition was the full text of the confession, but no proof text. The final edition of the confession, the 4th edition, that we consider authoritative, was the one that had both the text and the complete text and the complete proof text. But there's a difference. The 3rd edition, the intent was to ensure we had the proper text. Emphasis was placed on the text. The next edition, though, the one that included the proof text, emphasis was on the proof text. So when we look at really what is the intent of the assembly, we actually have an amalgam of 2 different editions. We have the text from the 2nd edition, the second full printed edition, and we have the proof text from the 3rd edition. So what that requires then is, as we create this critical text, it actually becomes a conflation of 2 texts. But that's important because when we see how difficult it is to incorporate the apparatus for proof texts within the 3rd edition, it's clear that the printers had their mind on something other than replicating the accuracy of the 2nd edition. They needed to be able to accommodate the reference letters within the text, and there was shifting in the text. So we know that, as we think about these 2 versions, we have the luxury that they didn't, of being able to step back and create this combination.